As always, it's late at night and it is a cold one as the East Coast awaits a massive blizzard. But regardless of the situation outside, inside, it is all about gaming. The night is on, the lights are off, and it's episode 15 of the Nights On, Lights Off podcast. I'm Will Cladley of the Game Escape channel, joined, as always, by JayShy of Shin Megami Talks. And we're coming to you in a little bit of a different format this evening. We recorded about a half hour of the episode, and we had some internet connectivity issues. So for the first 30 minutes of the show, you're going to hear a little bit of choppiness. And then for the remaining hour and a half, it should be business as usual as we talk import gaming, pickups. We're actually going to do our fourth episode, actually our fifth episode of We've Got Your Number, talking about the best games with 4 in their titles, and as always, a lot of interesting recommendations, interesting insights into the world of import gaming. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my partner JayShy as he talks about what he's been playing recently.
Oh man. So after I kind of got everything that I wanted for the Sega Genesis, I think I've turned back to grabbing some extra things that I probably missed out on the Switch. But I did get my final game that I was working on, final two, I guess, collections. Like, well, one is a collection, and the other one is kind of like its own game. I got Undead Line for the Sega Genesis. That was an unreleased US game. It never came out for the US, but it came out for Japan. I finally got my copy of that from Retrobit. It's kind of like I don't know, a medieval kind of shmup, but you're running forward and you're shooting everything in your face. Really hard game. And I got the Toa Plan collection that came out on the Sega Genesis. Toa Plan collection number 2. I've been playing. I haven't really played that game because I'm pretty sure I know what to expect from that one. So I haven't really had time with that. Now, as for the Switch, uh, we'll save what I've purchased for later. But what I've been playing, I started playing more of a game that I never got a chance to finish, which was Maids of the Dead, which is basically your Japanese anime kind of game that has, the hot waifu maids shooting zombies. And it's kind of like a roguelike. It's really fun. It's very addictive. I'm noticing that roguelikes are very, very popular in Japan for some apparent reason. Have you noticed that? Have you not noticed that?
I have not been following it too much. No, I mean, I know it's just generally popular, but yeah, I mean, have there been other, like, what are some other examples?
Yeah, I think it has a very high popularity run in Japan for some reason because you have Maids of the Dead. Then there's that Raiden game. What's it? Raiden UFO or Raiden? What was the one that came out
Yes,
recently? That one's a roguelike
Ride
game.
Nova.
English release. It's got an Asia release. I think it's called Yobari. That's coming out. That's also a roguelike Japanese anime kind of game. And I'm noticing like a lot of these Japanese anime games that are roguelites. It's weird. I recently too SD what's it based off of the movie Shin Kamen Rider SD, I think it's called. And that one's also a roguelite. And I was like, what's up with all these roguelites? It's not that they're bad, it's just very addictive, and I'm noticing a lot of games are roguelites nowadays. So I've been playing Maids of the Dead, and I've been playing the release of, I guess it's a re-release of Phantom Breakers Underground, which is kind of like its chibi style beat 'em up anime games. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what's been
Okay.
happening lately, but I feel like I'm getting into my weeb otaku era of my life now because everything is just anime this, anime that now. And I've been reading some visual novels lately, so I don't know what's happening, but I feel like I just, I need this kind of mixture in my life. I have these anime games, these RPGs, and visual novels that I've been reading.
I've gone down a bit of a rabbit hole of my own, and that is I think I told you about this. I got for Christmas the Densha to Go Switch controller.
You
You
finally
know
got
that
it.
I
Congratulations.
finally got it. Yeah. Um,
Congratulations.
but what I didn't realize is that there's this series of rail sim games called Real Pro. I think it's called
Mhm.
Tetsudo Nippon Real Pro, and they take different lines and they use like real HD footage. So you're actually, they put a camera in the car, you see the whole track or at least sections of a particular line, and they work with that controller too. So I realized that, and I had collected those games here and there. So I realized they worked, and then I started importing as many of those games as I could. So I just went down this rabbit hole of Japanese train sim games with that controller. So that's kind of what I did. Right around Christmas. For Christmas, my brother-in-law got me that Fantasian Neo Dimension game,
Mhm.
which I really, really enjoyed. I mean, it's basically, I think we may have mentioned it on the podcast before, kind of like a throwback to Final Fantasy VII PS1 era RPGs where you have like a hand drawn background and then kind of like 3D sprites moving around the screen, and it just kind of moves screen to screen. Really nice artwork, a really slick and speedy combat system, so you don't really feel bogged down with the game. You could pick it up, you could play it for an hour, feel like you make really good progress, and click save on a save point, which are generously distributed around the world, and move on with your life. So I feel like it kind of affects the player who grew up with these games, but doesn't necessarily have time for a massive RPG. The
I
art
mean,
style is
that game
good.
was made by that game was made by the godfather of Final Fantasy, so
Yeah.
that's probably why it feels that way.
Yeah, it fits absolutely like a glove. Like I just had this warm glow playing that game. So I enjoyed that. And then and this is kind of an odd one. I just picked up for maybe like a dollar or two on Steam during the holiday sale a game called New Star GP. And what this
Mm.
is, it's like Virtua Racer, but within an RPG using what I would call basic kind of like modern Formula One strategies. So think of, I don't know how many tracks there are, maybe eight eight tracks, Virtua Racer style. Controls really like that game, but you have to manage, tire strategy. Do you want to go soft, medium, hard, wet? How many pit stops do you want? And then there's this whole RPG element of like hiring people for your racing team. So it basically boils down all of the elements of Formula One into a fun, relaxed, addictive arcade game. And I really appreciated that aspect of it. So I put in a decent amount of time with that and found it very enjoyable. Um, we always, I guess we have a tradition now. We've been in the show for a couple of years that in January, we like to kind of look at some upcoming releases that we know about
Yep.
and talk about games, we're excited for. Have been going through the different websites over the past couple of days, just trying to look at things. I didn't see a lot, but kind of four caught my eye, and I just want to see if you knew about them or
Mhm.
if you were excited for them. I don't know if you've seen this Akiba Lost game that's
I did
coming
see
out, I
that.
believe, in September, and I think all of my games are more or less curiosities.
Yeah,
Akiba Lost seems to be one of like a live action,
it
just
does, yeah.
a live action game. It almost reminds me when I looked at some of the screenshots and promotional stuff, like those dating sims that have been on Steam and people were streaming them a couple of years back. Like I think one was called like Super Seducer, and then
Mhm.
the other was a Korean one about, I don't know, love is endless, love is around us, something like that. Um, Not that those games are necessarily great. I In fact, I haven't played them. There's really not up my alley, but I feel like, something in Akihabara,
Yeah,
it could be an interesting curiosity if it gets one of those Asian releases where you at least have English subtitles
definitely.
and things like that. So I saw that, and another one for me that I really have no idea about, but it looked again kind of like a curiosity, is something called the Zan Collection, which is coming out in March, and it seems to be a compilation of like really early strategy RPGs that might have been on
Uh,
like an old
PC Engine.
Japanese computer.
I think it was PC
Yeah,
or no, at the NEC 2800, right? Or 8 is I think it's
PC
called
88, PC 98.
PC
Yeah,
88. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah.
which I mean, I've tried to emulate that console and like some of the games on there, you're really, really reaching back. But to have a compilation of all of these essentially like war games set in different eras of Japanese history.
I'm actually looking through my pre-orders now. So it's a first-person dungeon crawler with card collecting mechanics. I mean, that's right up my alley. I'm going to do this. So I pre-ordered Chrono Arc. So that's my first pre-order. I'm looking forward to
Is
that.
that on the
Now,
Switch
that's
or
it's on the Switch. Yeah, it's on the regular Switch, I think it is. Yep. And then let's see. Let's go to my February list. I pre-ordered a lot. I'm sorry. Remember, I spoke about this. I was like, once I started getting the hang of how the tariffs work, I was like, okay, maybe around this and work around that. Um, so for February, I pre-ordered the limited edition for City Hunter, one based off of the old Japanese anime from the 80s. I pre-ordered that because I did have it on PC Engine, but I remember trading it in because I couldn't figure out how the game works. In terms of like, and I really wanted to know the story of the game. So because the game wasn't translated to English, I just traded it, and I was like, maybe they'll re-release it at some point. Lo and behold, now they're releasing it with English. So I did pre-order. Let's see. I pre-ordered a Hololive game. I think it's a visual novel. I'm not sure, but I don't know what it's about. I don't think it has any fighting in it at all. I think it's just one of those weird romance visual novels. Um, but I know it has a Hololive character in it. I'm trying to see. I think it's called Okayu Nayumi R is what it's called.
okay?
Or what is it? Naimuyu R is what it's called. It's a VN. It's a visual novel. It looks like one of those romance visual novels. Like I've been getting a bit into my visual novels. Been trying to use those to help me sleep, and they do work. But other than that, yeah, those are the games that I pre-ordered for now. Wait, no, there's others, but it's from other websites.
Now that's interesting. That's a long list of pre-orders, and
Yep.
Jay, I got to ask you, what exactly is the tariff impact on something like that? Because what you just went through sounds like we're back in 2024.
So okay, so this is the thing. So I'm doing all of this to test a couple of things out. So where I so a lot of the times where I usually pre-order my merchandise, I usually get it from AmiAmi, right? And I usually consolidate my packages in bulk. And when I used to do this pre-tariffs, I used to just do DHL shipping. I would always pay the extra and get it in like a week because I never liked packages just sitting on my mind for like 4 months or 4 weeks or whatever it is. So what I did was I decided to buy a package in each month so that I can test the different shipping rates. So for the end of this month, I'm doing well, actually no, I actually bought a shipment just to expedite it using their air shipping, which is their regular shipping. Then for the next month, I'm gonna try out the DHL because I remember what was it? I think it was when I bought the Mad Stalker. I had DHL ship that, but I used our special store where we get our special stuff. And I said, "Hey, just send it to me DHL." And it was horrendous. I did notice when you buy something from AmiAmi, they give you a choice. Now, they never used to really do this. You had to actually preemptively pick your choice before, and it just kind of locks in so that they can give you an estimate later. But now what they do is they give you a total of what everything is going to cost, and then when everything makes it to their store, they give you a bunch of different prices at the end that says, hey, if you want this, if you want DHL, this is how much you're going to pay. But just be sure that when you do pick this choice, you're going to probably have extra charges. Then it gave me a middle ground shipping, which was terrible and very slow. It was like 4 months that it was going to take. And then there was air, which is kind of in between DHL and ground, but it only takes 4 weeks to get to you. And it wasn't that. Oh, and it doesn't give you the extra costs. So I picked that one first. And then I figure for my next shipment, I'm going to pick DHL just to see if they smack on tariffs, because it seems like DHL smacks you with an extra cost for some apparent reason, and I don't know why. So we're gonna go ahead and test all of those shipments out. So as of right now, I don't know. But for the shipment that I did pay for a couple of weeks ago, the air shipping was usually the same price as it was if I were to buy it from DHL back in the day. It was it was that price. But I figure I think one of our Discord mates brought up a really good point, which is Apollyon. He said something and it kind of resonated with me. He said, "Look, I've been paying Canadian tariffs forever. This is nothing new to me." And I think when I heard that, I was like, you know what? If he can do it, I can probably do it. So it didn't hurt as bad when I was selecting these shipping prices.
That's interesting. Yeah, well, you're doing a service for the community. You're
For sure, for sure.
you're putting your neck out there, and we'll see what happens. I haven't ordered from AmiAmi since all of this went down. Like I got my last AmiAmi shipment before they announced that they were going to end the de minimis. Like, they did that over the summer.
Yeah.
But I did order from PlayAsia recently, and they calculated
Hmm.
a tariff cost, and it wasn't terrible. It might have been
It wasn't that bad. Yeah.
$18.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
wasn't that bad.
and the games were on sale at that point for the holiday season, so I just went for it. It was delivered, with reasonable speed. Like it wasn't any longer than PlayAsia would usually take to get it to me. And I
Hmm.
think I mentioned, like, it said DHL on the box, but it was delivered with some like last mile company that I had never heard of.
Hmm.
So I mean, I'll take that if I have to pay a little bit more for the games, and they want to throw like a nominal fee on there. I mean, it will change. Like, you're talking about our special store over there. I haven't ordered from them because they kind of explicitly say, like, listen, it's whatever happens when it gets to
Yeah.
your shores is your problem.
Yep.
And I am a little nervous because I've heard all sorts of things. I mean, I've heard
Yeah.
that it can get really crazy. So I am
I did. He-
as
I did hear something very interesting though. Well, hold on. Let me put it like this. So I was going to pre-order something. I mean, I did pre-order but I had to pre-order the basic one. So I did see that Play Asia had that Mary Bunny Garden game, which is like that way out of pocket anime game where you play as the drunk girl walking down the street and you just basically have to avoid hazards or whatever. I know that Play Asia is selling a limited edition that comes with a blanket. It does seem like tariffs hit you harder depending on how big the package is. So because the limited edition comes with like a huge blanket, something that cost $50, it almost went up to $100. When I put it in the cart and I wanted it to calculate for tariffs and everything. So I thought that was crazy, but it did tell me something. I think depending on how big your box is, you're gonna get hit hard. Now I do know that when I pre-ordered from Canada, I Canada has a tariff too, right? Like when we order something from Canada, we're supposed to get hit with a tariff, aren't we?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think at this point, every nation in the world's got a tariff of some kind. So I don't know what they are for Canada. Like you did you do like Video Games Plus or something?
Yeah, so I did VGP, and it doesn't feel like I got hit with a tariff. Maybe I did and I just didn't realize it. But it doesn't feel like a tariff is applied for some reason from Canada. I feel like that one's a lie. I don't know why, but I do. Or maybe they just didn't pick me. But I did hear something very very interesting, and I don't know how true this is. But apparently when you import anything, it can be, and I mean anything. Apparently when it gets to consolidation for what are they called? The officers that basically check your package.
I like the
Um
customs.
Customs. When it gets to customs, the officer who checks your package, they basically raise your tariffs based off of what it says on the package, is what I heard. I don't know how true this is. So if something says made in China, you're gonna get hit with like a 230% tariff for some reason. And if it says made in other countries, they basically base your tariff off of that. So that means if you buy something from Japan and it has a label that says made in China, you're going to get hit with the China tariff, not the Japan tariff. I
Interesting.
don't I don't know how true this is, but this is what I heard. So, you can go with that as you will, but I am definitely taking a risk here with all of these pre-orders that I have made.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you're just getting like regular games, they're in a small box, like just a nondescript, nondescript, excuse me, shipping box.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I guess if you're getting something like a massive figure or something like that,
Yeah.
or some electronics where it may actually have manufactured in China, that you're running a risk. Wow. Well, I guess that's a reason to tune in later in the spring when we see exactly what the damage is here.
Hey, Shy's got his package, guys. Let's go see what's the damage.
Well, join our Discord and
And you'll know
you'll see the
early.
damage live. Yeah.
Yeah. I should start doing streams where I'm just like, all right, guys, you want to see how much I paid for tariffs?
Yeah. Oh, well,
that'll
we
be that'll
will
be uh, that'll be hard on my soul.
we will stay tuned. But any I was wondering, any gaming news? Like usually we kind of talk about like, yeah, news, trends, things like that, but I don't
Mhm.
feel like there was anything just yet that
Um,
was earth-shattering.
yeah, it's more of the same. Really, you have your political stuff here. I mean, I've heard people talk about the whole Switch 2 thing, and how, oh, these numbers aren't real. They sold this much, but it's really not this much, and I it's all over the place right now. And I think that, you know what it is that when I look at it, I think it's one of those things where there's nothing really to talk about that we haven't already discussed, but a lot of these YouTubers need something to talk about to keep the content drip feeding. So they're trying to just grasp at everything, and it's kind of drying up because I feel like people have gotten to the point where they're like, look, we're gonna buy what we want to buy. We like what we like, and let's just leave it at that. But I haven't really heard any news except the usual stuff that we already know. What is it? Microsoft is not being Xbox anymore. PlayStation is raising prices, and Nintendo is insane right now for some apparent reason. So yeah, I mean, that's the news.
That is the news. It's interesting. Like we are, and I say we, like everyone who follows gaming, the YouTube community, things like that. There is a lot of that negativity that gets clicks and feeds engagement and all of that. But
Yep.
I actually had an interesting experience. My good friend from high school, a guy that I used to game with back in the day. He actually got a Switch 2 from his girlfriend for Christmas. Now, this is a guy who he loved games, was a big RPG player, and he could never bring himself to buy a console like after he graduated college. Like he would always be like, "Oh, I'm going to build this gaming computer," and then he would spend like a year researching it, and he would start buying the parts, but then they'd talk about the next great graphics card. So for like a decade, he didn't finish building his computer. And then he wanted the original Switch and he delayed on that. So eventually the girlfriend was like, "No, I'm just going to give this to you." And so he missed out on the whole Switch era. And now we're into the Switch 2 era, and just seeing like his take on the console
Hmm.
versus someone who's like jaded and been through it like us. It's been
Right.
really refreshing like for him. And he's not, I wouldn't call him a like a casual gamer. You know, he's somebody who was like steeped in all the same stuff that we were and still are back, or at least he was back in the day, and has kind of been like following the RPG scene and not so much the import scene, but just to see like the system through his eyes, like it's great. He can play all of the Switch games and all of the Switch 2 games, and he's
Hmm.
been texting me about, uh new releases, things that he missed, and kind of seeing that has been fun. Like to talk to like an old friend and to be excited about the console, and he doesn't know anything about like the key cards or the pricing controversy and how shitty Nintendo is, and they're a law firm with a gaming division and all of that. He doesn't care about that. He's just into the games.
So
So,
it's basically gaming in its purest form.
yes.
Basically, he doesn't know about the background stuff. He's taking everything at face value. That's the best. That is
Yeah,
literally the best.
and it's like I said, it's not like he's been following it. So he's like, oh, texting me like lists of RPGs, and he's like, which do you think that I should play first, and stuff like that. So it's not like he's been in the dark, but
Mhm.
he's just not watching the same stuff. Actually, I wanted to ask your opinion. Let's give him a J Shy recommendation. So he he loves RPGs. He's in the
Mhm.
mood for a really meaty RPG, but he hates RPGs that are set in modern settings. So I was like, "Oh, you missed out on Persona 5. Play Persona 5 Royale." And he's like, "No, I can't do it. It's,
Nah, it's modern
20,
setting.
20 yeah, modern setting." And I told him about the Fantasia Neo Dimension. He's like, "Oh, maybe, but that might still even be a little too modern."
Mhm.
I suggested, maybe the Octopath Traveler,
That's a
Triangle
good one.
Strategy, Final
Yep.
Fantasy Tactics, if he was into that branch of the RPG.
Mhm.
But what would be a good Jay Shy pick for him? High fantasy, RPG.
Off the top of my head, I would go Unicorn Overlord. That's off the top of my head. I did hear that a lot of people liked Metaphor Refantagio though, but I can't. I've never played it, but like if he already said no to Persona, he probably
Yeah.
wouldn't want to play Metaphor.
And I think
So I would.
Metaphor was also, I mean, that was still, if not modern, like I mean, it wasn't exactly like the
It's
traditional
fantasy,
JRPG
yeah,
fantasy.
like high fantasy. I would go Unicorn Overlord if he wants like a strategy RPG. I wouldn't. Most people would probably say Fire Emblem, right? But if he wants like high fantasy, maybe he's into Lord of the Rings or something like that. I would go Redemption Reapers. That's a good one.
Okay.
That one has like it looks like Lord of the Rings, but it has an anime. It kind of has an anime vibe to it, almost. But it's dark. It's gritty. It feels like Lord of the Rings. You can go there, or if he wants he doesn't want a modern setting and he wants fantasy. What's a third one I can give?
And
I
I'm
think
going to give you another little tidbit about this guy. So while he
okay.
wasn't gaming, he became like a massive board game fan.
Oh
Like
wow.
that's
Okay.
yeah. So and he loves what he calls like the Euro game, a
Uh,
game with like an evolving strategy where a winner, I guess, is not immediately clear. Like, you're
mhm.
employing a strategy, and only at the end of the game
Yeah. So
can you
so
assess whether that was right or wrong.
Yeah, so Unicorn Overlord and Redemption Reapers is perfect. Those are
Okay.
two tactical strategy RPGs. If he wants just a straightforward RPG, I would probably go. What was that one strategy? What was that one RPG that I said this was great? You need to buy this before you can't find it anymore. It was damn. What was it? It was the Romancing Saga remake. That one
Yes.
was really good. It's fantastic. I think that game is another game that is gonna just disappear. Everybody's gonna forget it exists. But I don't remember what it's called. I think it's like Romancing Saga 2 something. I forget. But that one is really good. So I gave you three: Redemption
Okay.
Reapers, Unicorn Overlord, and Romancing Saga. I would go with those three.
All right.
I had a lot of fun with those three. So yeah, I would go with those.
Awesome. I will text that to him this evening. Um, I'm looking to see if we have any questions. I don't really recall if we had any like questions
Oh,
to the
I
show.
I do have something that I do want to bring up, by the way.
Okay.
I think this would be an interesting conversation. So
Yeah.
on our last episode, we kind of had this discussion with one of the questions that we had, which was it was one of those if a person is he's having another baby and he's thinking about selling his games and all this stuff. I had said something along the lines that there's a lot of individuals who get into the hobby and then they sell their games and they go to another hobby. And I said it in a way because when I was going back and I was listening to it, I said it in a way as if this is the only thing that happens. And the reason why I'm bringing this up again is because when I said it, it was almost as I implied that um uh, this is what always happens is anybody who always leaves, it's because they never had a passion for it to begin with, right?
Okay.
Um, I recently went back and watched a video by a YouTuber I used to watch, who I brought up in that exact same episode. He used to be called Kid Shoryuken. He's called something else now, which is like Mad Hat Gaming or something like that. I forget. But he recently told everybody like a week ago that he sold his collection and he basically just stopped collecting. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it kind of proves my argument wrong. So, he really loved video games. He really loved collecting retro games. But I guess what I'm getting at is that there are people out there that they kind of just fall out of passion with the hobby. And because he was explaining that whenever he made a video about buying any games, it wasn't because he was buying the games, it was because he was buying them for his Patreon. And he ended up with this collection that he didn't have a passion for. So he sold it all. Because he much rather, build more of a social life and do all of these other things that he just gravitates towards. I guess the reason why I'm bringing this up is because he proved my argument wrong, and at the same time, um, there are people out there who sell their collections just because they grow out of it. It's not because they didn't have they did not have a love for the hobby to begin with. It's more or less just because, hey, this is not what I want to do anymore. So that can happen. And this was the first time that I've actually seen it, is that he still liked video games because he says now he's emulating is what he's doing. He's emulating the games he wants to play and all of this stuff, but he just didn't want a collection anymore. And it also made me think about some of my own I guess turbulent waters, you can kind of say, because when I was doing YouTube, before, I used to buy a lot of games because it was content, not because, a lot of times I really wanted to play it, but sometimes I would go overboard and just buy too much. And it's because, oh, I can use this for content. And a lot of the times people can get burned out, so it does exist. Anyway, I just really wanted to bring that up, and I don't want to babble anymore, but I did want to bring that up in this episode.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. I've always been of the mind where if I fall out of like I wouldn't say I've ever fallen out of passion too much, but
Hmm.
like you go through phases. So sports cards. When I was a kid, when I was an adult, I had a buddy who's really into sports cards, and I've always been a big sports fan. And I do have I'm not going to say a large card collection, but I probably have a couple of like Costco moving crates filled with cards and sports memorabilia, and another box of all those albums where you'd put your cards in.
Hmm.
And I definitely I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of collecting sports cards much anymore because, there's kind of a gambling element to it.
Right.
And some of the packs are like 20, $30 a pack, and I just won't do it. So I guess fallen out of it is something that I do on a regular basis, but I still have that stuff. And I couldn't see myself getting rid of it because it represents like a time of my life, and different actually time like watching sports, and you can kind of go through the different eras. And I feel like if I put the time, effort, and money into building this, um I'm not going to sell it, even if it's ultimately just like sitting in a box in a dark room, because I think one day you do come back to it. I talked about like I very rarely have sold video games, but I did have this phase maybe 8, 9 years ago where it's like, I'm going to sell all my NES and Super NES games and Genesis. And I didn't really sell all my Genesis, but I sold like the Shining Force series and
Right.
the Fantasy Star series because I'm like, oh, the prices are pretty high. I could emulate this. And I wound up taking what I got and buying, like, at that point, what was considered a really good 4K HDR television. And you know what? That television's broken now, and I really wish I had those games. So, yeah, I feel like obviously if you have, if you're in a kind of financial crisis or something like that, you're going to sell your games, or, if you have to. But I've always felt like there have been times when I'm not so much into gaming, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to do something else and leave it down on the shelf in the bunker, and I'll come back to it. So that's always been my take on it. Like you can lose your passion for a little bit, but it's a shame to toss out that part of your life.
Yeah. I've I don't know what he's going through, but it doesn't sound like he was going through anything. It just sounded like he was kind of moving on, is what it sounded like. But he was still connected to video games from an emulated standpoint. And I get that because he lives in Japan, so he was probably running out of space too. So, and I know space in Japan is a premium, so
Oh yeah.
it's hard to have a collection there. So that's probably what he was also thinking about was, man, I don't have the space for this. Um, but I know I'm speaking from my point of view, and what I've done in the past. When I sold my collection the first time, I think it was like 2006, 2007. Man, I remember coming home to an empty shelf where games used to be, and I just remember the feeling of, man, I'm never doing this again. Like I'm never selling my collection again. Whatever I have, I'm just gonna hold on to because a lot of the times I end up selling something and somewhere down the road I want to try it again and it's too expensive. And I always look at it like a lot of times I'll have a game and when I originally bought it, it was like $30. And then 5 years go by or 2 years go by and it's 120. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? So
Yeah,
I don't want to do that again.
it's always going to be more expensive. It's always going to be more expensive to get that stuff back. Um, on the flip side, though, I will admit, like going back to my sports card example, like there was a time, couple more than a couple of years ago, I would say, 7, 8, 9 years ago, where I actually did need some money, and I had this set of 86 Fleer basketball cards, which were highly collectible, and I had a couple of them graded. I didn't have the Michael Jordan, but I had most of the rest of them, and a
Mhm.
couple other like desirable graded cards. And I sold them for like a good bit of money. Like it might have been like 800 or $1,000, and I didn't miss them. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like now those were not things that I had on the shelf, but I really love that set, and I spent part of like the early to mid 2000s like putting that set together, getting the cards graded, and when I sold them, I was like, you know, it didn't hit me that much emotionally, but I do know that I will never ever have that set again. And it it's kind of it's a shame like if you wanted to like share that memory with someone, it is gone. But yeah, I don't think it's as painful as people think, but there's still that one way or another, whether you see the empty shelf and it bothers you,
Mhm.
or you think back, like I didn't even think about that until tonight, when you're talking about this topic, and I'm like, yeah, it didn't really hurt in the moment, but hmm, I will never have that set again. So it brings up though a related topic. It's really interesting that you brought this up because I was having a conversation with my wife recently, and she likes the show 90 Day Fiance, where the Americans go overseas to marry different people.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I've seen
sometimes I
it.
just put that on to like go to sleep or something like that. And then over breakfast, we were talking about like, hey, do we want to retire maybe to another country? And we were looking at where would we go, and so we were thinking like, oh, maybe we'll go somewhere in Europe or something like that. And it kind of hit me like, oh, what am I going to do with this collection? Because if you have to leave this country or Canada or someplace where you have more space than say Japan or Europe, and you had to go, like, what would you take with you so that you could sort of continue gaming but still have space in a place where space is hard to come by?
Mhm.
And for me, like I was thinking about it, like in this moment. I'm not talking about like if I'm 60 necessarily. I always said that to me, the thing that I would want the most would be my video game magazine collection and art book collection. Because
Okay.
going forward, like, you don't know what the future holds. Like, you could be old and maybe you have arthritis and you can't play the games. Or, like, I always thought that, there might be a time where you can't play the games, but you'll always have the memories of playing the games. And those books kind of evoke those memories. But if I thought about it like realistically now, like that whole, and I posted some pictures of like all the gaming books and the magazines that I have. Um, those are hard and heavy to transport. Like I almost killed myself transporting it to my current house, and that wasn't that long of a move. So I feel like probably what I would do, and this really like kills me to think about, I would actually take all of my Switch game cards and 3DS. Like I would take that part of the game collection that's easy to transport and
Mhm.
just put them in one of those binders and
Oh,
take them.
wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like so I could still
Yeah.
basically play the library, and probably like I could put that in like a briefcase or something like that.
Mhm.
But it would kill me to get rid of the cases. Kill me.
Yeah, I
So
could see that.
that would be my plan, but just to continue gaming and to have like enough games to sustain me for probably the rest of my life. And obviously I'd take my like Steam Deck, and if I could, I'd ship my gaming computer and stuff like that. But what would you do in that scenario?
Oh, man, I never actually thought about it. I don't know why, but this is the first thing that pops into my head, so I guess this is the thing I would do. I'd probably either take the 3DS or the Vita. I'd probably grab one of those. Um But man, I like your idea more. just to just to put all the cards, and that's actually a better idea. But I love the idea with the magazines too. Um, man, I don't know. I really don't know. I Because most of everything that I have comes in giant boxes. I actually think I am the Lord of Collector's Edition. So I
Yeah.
don't I don't know. I really don't know. Um, Man, this is a tough question for me because I don't know. But I mean, the Vita was the first one that popped into my head, so I'm assuming I would probably grab that. Um, Grab that, take all the cards, like you said, and just kind of have those on me. But I mean, I guess that's a finite of time you have electricity. I think the magazines were a better idea. Um,
Yeah. Well, I yeah, I mean, so the magazines, like, I really, like I said, I just enjoy even now, like sitting in that room where I have all of them, just pulling one off the shelf, maybe throwing on some gaming music, for that
mhm,
game, and having a drink and just kind of like reflecting. I know that sounds really weird, but it's very relaxing. But I don't know, like, to
yeah.
what extent you could really. I mean, it depends on where you're going and how much space you have, and, like, I mean, I guess I could see if, like, I had some bookshelves or something like that, I would take a portion of them.
Mhm,
But I think we're really lucky in this country in the sense that, and I come from, like I said, I was like living in a townhome condo situation, and I still had space, and now I have even more space. Like, space is not an issue for us in the way it is in a place like
mhm,
Japan, or in most places that I've been to in Europe. So it's just like, what do you do? I mean, I would probably also bring like my analog pocket. Like, emulation would be a bigger thing.
mhm,
And I guess for the magazines, like, I guess what I could do is I could get like a really high quality tablet and go to that site Retro Mags,
mhm.
which I think I talked about recently on the Discord. I don't know if you've ever used that, but to me, it is one of like the best websites in gaming because it's got like really high quality scans of a good percentage of retro game magazines,
Okay.
and it's all free. So you go, you sign up. You probably have their most of them are like CBR files, so you do need a reader that can deal with those files. But I mean, it's easy to find. Works on tablets, laptops, computers. Um, so yeah, maybe I would have to ditch them. But it's interesting when you think of those transitions. Like, what part of your collection do you actually take? So
Yeah, it's definitely a good question to think about because I never actually thought about it. Like if I had to choose. Yeah. But I think I'm only picking the Vita based off of kind of how my life is structured now because I have two kids, and it's portable. It's just easier for me. Like it's hard for me to go into the game room and play something there, whether it be the Genesis or the Retron or anything like that. So when I have the fact that the Vita, the Switch, and the 3DS are all portable, it makes things a bit easier for me to play through. But I think
yeah,
I think I like the idea of having magazines more, only because I guess it's a form of entertainment that the only time it could probably literally go away is if it gets rained on or caught in a fire. You know,
yeah,
you can't really. I mean, you don't need to plug it into something, to read a book. Well, to read a real book, unless you have it digital, then you're kind of screwed. But yeah,
yeah.
I like the magazine idea.
Nice,
I
nice.
might have to think about that for the future.
Yeah, magazines and like I said, some of those art books are really really nice.
Mhm.
So we've been putting this off for a while. We did that little like series. We've got your number. We haven't done it
Mm.
probably for a year.
I
So are
think I
you
think
up?
we need to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are actually on episode 4
Yep.
of we've got your number. So to remind people, we kind of look through the history of gaming and we try to select the best games
The number.
with the number in the title. In this case,
Right.
four. So it has to be, you know, the numeral four or four spelled out.
Hmm.
And we just kind of go through it and pit games against each other, and we'll see who wins. So I don't know that you've actually seen this list.
Nope. Oh wait,
So
no, I did. It's a very big list, by the
it's
way.
very big.
Yes,
This is a very
I
very big
did.
list.
A very big list. Let's
It's a big list, but I do think actually once we get past like five, it's gonna
get smaller and
become
smaller.
more. Yeah.
It's only going to be Final Fantasy games.
Well, yeah, yeah. That's no. Believe it or not, there's really some interesting things out there. But four, we got to get through four. So
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna throw out the pairs to you.
Let's go.
Tell me what you think, and we'll try to narrow it down. So the first two games, Resident Evil
Yep.
4 versus Uncharted 4, A Thief's End.
Uh, I'm gonna pick Uncharted, and the only reason why I'm going to pick Uncharted is because then I have to ask follow-up questions about Resident Evil 4, and I'm going to be honest with you. I am one of those people that did not enjoy Resident Evil 4. I know a lot of people love it. They feel it's the best game in the world. I didn't like it. But which Resident Evil 4 are we talking about? Are we talking
I
about
was I was thinking of
GameCube,
the
PS2, or are we talking about new age Resident Evil 4? What are we talking?
I was thinking of actually the GameCube one,
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm definitely picking Uncharted anyway.
Uncharted.
What about
Okay.
you?
Well, it's interesting. I would have gone with Resident Evil 4 only because that was the only Resident Evil that I actually got like on release day because I was like,
Okay.
oh, this is going to show the power of the GameCube. And you know me, I don't like zombies and I don't like treasure hunters. So for me, like I can't defend Resident Evil 4 in any I think reasonable way other than like yeah, like it looked good graphically on the GameCube. It was violent in a way that most Nintendo games weren't. I
Right.
just have never gotten into Uncharted, so I would have gone with RE4 for that reason. But I'm going to go with you on this one. I'll let you have that one, and we'll take Uncharted because I would just be way too unfair to the
Really quick question
Uncharted
though,
series.
because you
Yeah,
said you don't like treasure hunters, right? So
yeah.
wait. Does Laura Croft count as a treasure hunter, or is she an archaeologist? What is she?
Well, I would say, like wasn't Indiana Jones an archaeologist, but also a treasure hunter? Like that
I
whole genre. And I've never seen
Yeah,
Indiana Jones, so
I'm not,
like it,
I probably seen probably one, but yeah, I'm right there with you.
like I remember my parents rented it, or we were watching it on TV because they thought I would like it when I was a kid. It was the one with the snakes. He was
Yeah,
dropped in a snake pit. I remember my parents were really into it, and I'm like, this is boring.
yeah.
I don't care about it. Like, and just from that day, I never got into it. But yeah, I've never played a Tomb Raider game, believe it or not.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I was
So
curious. I was curious.
so I will give you that one. Our next pairing, Persona 4, whatever variety you want, whether it's the original or Persona 4
We'll just
Golden.
say golden. We'll just say golden.
Yeah, versus Shin Megami Tensei 4. And I wasn't sure because they have 4 and 4 Apocalypse. So I don't know which was
So
the.
Apocalypse is the sequel to 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like saying Final Fantasy X-2. It's like saying that.
Okay.
Yeah. So me personally, I would definitely go SMT4. I just enjoyed that game more than Persona 4. So I don't know, which one did you enjoy more?
Oh, I would easily go with Persona 4. Easily go. I thought it was, an amazing follow-up to Persona 3. Like, for whatever reason, the Shin Megami Tensei, especially the ones on the 3DS, right? This one was on the 3DS. To me, it felt very stale for some reason.
I will say this, it does feel dated for the era that it came out in. But I just love that game. I really, really love SMT4.
But
Uh,
I think if we made the argument based on, its impact on gaming, I think you'd have
oh,
to
then
go with
it's
Persona 4.
yes. On impact on gaming, it's definitely going to Persona 4 for sure, hands down.
Like, I think
However,
Resident
I
Evil and Uncharted is
Resident
like a
yeah,
toss-up if and then so we can go with our personal, proclivities there, but I think Persona 4 Golden is
yeah.
it's a classic.
It is. It is. It really is. It got a lot of people into the genre. So,
Yes.
yes, yes, I would say it is Persona 4 Golden. I will agree with you on this one.
Alright, next pairing, Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution
Mm.
versus Super Street Fighter 4, which I think are, like, the
I
highest
I
rated
would
versions of
go
each one.
unfortunately, I would go Virtual Fighter. Um, Although I had more time with Street Fighter 4, personally to me, I think that Virtual Fighter 4 was a better game. Um, Street Fighter 4 felt weird playing it. It really did. I don't how do you feel about it?
Oh, I would go Virtua Fighter 4 without any
Yeah, okay.
hesitation
All
whatsoever.
right. So we can agree on that one. Yeah, Street Fighter 4 felt very weird. It felt like they were still finding their footing with Street Fighter 4.
Yes.
So, yeah, I would go VF definitely.
Yeah, to me, I think Virtua Fighter 4 is one of the top I'm gonna say the top 5 fighting games on the PS2, because if you think about I mean, it's a good fighting game in and of itself, but it had that, kind of like arcade mechanic where you're actually like it was almost like an RPG where you'd pick an arcade. This arcade had, such and such players, and you would try to work your way up through the rankings, and
Mhm.
you'd have to become the number one ranked player in this arcade, and then you'd move on, and then you'd go to a tournament. Like that was really, really, I thought, innovative at the time, and it made playing, the core game more interesting.
Mhm.
And it had I think it had like Virtua Fighter 1 and 2 also on the disc.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think, or at least the version I have. I don't know if it was maybe it was a separate disc, but it was basically like a love letter to the Virtua Fighter series. And I would go so far as to say it's probably still the best Virtua Fighter game.
I can't
That's
disagree with this one.
that's how much I love it. Street Fighter 4, I mean, I enjoyed it. I wasn't necessarily a fan of that art style, like the
Me neither.
brush stroke art style. I mean, I enjoyed it. I played it quite a bit, but we're gonna give it to Virtua Fighter 4. The next pairing, and I select these again based on games that have had, impact and relevance kind of in the history of gaming, and also games that were just highly rated. And so this is next pairing is interesting because it's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare versus Forza Horizon 4.
Ooh. Hmm. This is a good one.
And this
Uh,
Forza Horizon, this was the England one. At
yeah.
least, yeah,
Uh, I g yeah, this is gonna be weird for me. I gotta go Call of Duty on this one.
me too.
I really enjoyed Modern Warfare. That story was really fun. It was fun for its time and era. And I still to this day is it is that the one with the sniper mission?
Yes, I was just
Yep.
thinking the sniper mission.
Yeah, yes, hands down Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. Hands down.
Yeah, I was in on that game day one, and the story was really good. Like it started off in the Iraq War, but the sniper mission, right? That was in
The Pripyat
uh
one. I remember
yeah,
that.
Pripyat, yeah, like the Chernobyl, and
Yep.
you're
Mhm.
with that, Scottish SAS guy,
Yep,
and he
yep.
teaches you how to like use the Coriolis effect, and I
It was
love
really
that
good
mission.
stuff. It was really good
Yeah.
stuff. Even that one where you have to stay crouched in the grass as the soldiers kind of walk past you with the tanks.
Yes.
That was great stuff, man. Great storytelling. Yeah, I'd go with Call of Duty. This
Yes,
the
and I
and
like the Forza series, and I would probably, if you
I do
asked me
too.
which games would I
Yeah.
wanna play, Call of Duty or Forza, I would say Forza, but in this case, like, I liked Forza 3 and 5 better. I can't remember which ones. One was Australia, one was Mexico.
I'll tell you what, if Forza went up against Uncharted, it would have won for me.
Yes.
I'd say
Uh,
that.
we just put these in a randomizer, luck of the draw here. I I think we're gonna have a disagreement on this next pairing.
Let's
Elder
see. Let's see.
Scrolls 4 Oblivion versus Streets of Rage 4.
I would go Elder Scrolls here.
Okay.
Um, I I am a sucker. Although I love Streets of Rage 4. Okay, I'm gonna take that back. I like Streets of Rage 4, but I enjoy Streets of Rage 4 when I'm playing the survival mode. When it comes to Oblivion, I like Oblivion as a package. Um, just traveling around to the different towns, learning the stories, the fact that you have like this weird freedom. I enjoyed Oblivion going down. Like I enjoyed Morrowind, Tribunal, and all of those other Elder Scrolls games. I enjoyed those games up until Oblivion. Well, up to Oblivion. So I got to go with Oblivion. What about you? Are
I'm
you going
right there
Streets of
with
Rage
you.
4? Oh,
No, no,
you
no,
thought I was going to pick Streets of Rage.
I thought you were gonna pick Streets of Rage 4
Oh,
because,
man.
you're a fan, like, we've even
I
played
am.
it, online and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but you paired it against Oblivion. I
yeah.
now if you would have said Skyrim, I would have picked Streets of Rage 4.
Yes, yes. No, Oblivion was, I mean, it's one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, I
Yeah,
just
Oblivion was great. I felt like Skyrim takes too many functions out and they streamlined the game too much where it didn't really feel like you were playing a role. It didn't feel like a pen and paper RPG kind of building of a character. It felt too streamlined for
yeah,
modern gaming. So I didn't like uh what was it? Skyrim in that vein. I much rather play Oblivion.
yes, and I thought Skyrim, like, I don't know, a lot of the different regions felt somewhat similar, where I felt Elder
Yeah.
Scrolls, really each region was
Ye
distinct.
yes, like, when you the farther south you went, the hotter it got. If you were to climb a mountain, there's snow. Like, everything feels like a world with different regions for sure. Like, even when you went too far west, the trees got orange and things changed. Like, in Skyrim, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like you're in one part of the continent and you never leave, even if you
Exactly.
do. It just felt very samey to me. So not a bad game. They dialed a lot back and it wasn't as fun.
Yep. So we are in total agreement there.
Yeah.
Left 4, the number 4, Left 4 Dead versus
hmm
Gran Turismo 4 is our
I'm
next
I'm
head-to-head
picking Left 4
showdown.
Dead. I'm picking Left 4 Dead.
Really?
Yes. Remember, I haven't played a Gran Turismo since 2. So
Okay.
you know what?
So
I have to go and play a Gran Turismo after 2, and I have to play 3 and 4 and maybe that new one, just so I can kind of know where it was heading. But I stopped playing Gran Turismo games after 2.
wow. I like Left 4 Dead. I actually played that and I was like, "Oh, this is kinda like, Team Fortress with zombies," and I don't
Yeah.
like zombie games, but I think it was, when it had free online co-op, so I even did that. So there was a lot to like, and I like the feel and the mechanics of Left 4 Dead, but I mean, Gran Turismo 4 is, I think, one of the all-time classic racing
I-
games. I mean, it had so much content, on the PlayStation 2. I mean, I remember when that game came out, there was this guy, I was working at a software company at the time, just like young kids out of college working there, and we didn't get a lot of time off. and this guy in like two cubicles down, he was like, "I'm taking the day off. Gran Turismo 4 is coming out." And I'm like, "But bro, like we only get such and such. We don't really get much time off. Like, what is your girlfriend gonna say?" And he's like, "I don't care. I'm telling her I'm sick and I'm playing this all day."
I've done that
Um,
once in my life too. I've
yeah.
done that.
So I don't know. I mean, I just
So
think
so
for
hold
the
on. You have to explain this to me and the viewers. What is
yeah.
your beef with zombie games? Why do you not like zombie games?
Um, I just don't like zombies as like a pop cultural theme.
Ah, okay.
I just feel like it's kind of lazy. It's
I
like,
mean, uh, okay. I can see that. I can see that.
uh,
I mean, I feel like zombies got better when Dying Light came out. It's like
okay.
it's like a zombie vampiric hybrid. I thought that was cool, but okay.
The only zombie game I liked was what was the Capcom thing with the photographer like Dead
Oh, Dead
Rising?
Rising, Dead Rising.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like a joke. That's probably why you liked it, is because they're
Yeah.
not taking this serious at all. So so I could kind of see why that. Yeah, that was a fun game. I enjoyed that game too.
But I mean, I think we have to not like I said, I like Left 4 Dead 4, but I think if we're taking into account if we're rating these on historical significance, I think we have to give it to Gran Turismo 4.
I disagree. I think that historical significance goes to Left 4 Dead only because Left 4 Dead pretty much popularized the four-player co-op genre. Like
Really?
after
It
I
wasn't
think it
Team
did.
Fortress.
No, well, Team Fortress was a what it was an 8-on-8 kind of, 8 versus 8 kind of game when Team Fortress came out. Now, when Left 4 Dead came out, after Left 4 Dead, I think every game became co-op four players. Like, oh, it's just four people. It's like, yeah, but we can literally have more. It was like, yeah, but no, all you need is four. I feel like that game popularized it. So I feel like this one's a no contest. I don't think we're gonna be able to
Really?
agree with this.
Well, you know what? I think you made an argument there because when you were saying that, so I guess my only question would be Counter-Strike.
Counter
Which
Strike was
which came
okay.
out
So,
first?
so Team
I feel like
Fortress.
Counter-Strike was
Okay,
earlier.
so this is the thing. When Team Fortress first came out, it was a what do you call it? It was a modded game. I remember it being a mod game, and then Valve kind of turned it into its own thing, where it's almost like a class-based shooter. That's what Team Fortress was, and then Counter Strike is just an 8 versus 8.
Okay.
The counterterrorism versus the terrorists. That's basically what it was. But Team Fortress was more of a class-based game. So, but Left 4 Dead was just, hey, you're playing as four people, you're in a situation, get from point A to point B. That was basically it. But like every game started doing that. Like, let's see, if you think back, let's see, you had Battlefield Bad Company, four dudes,
Okay.
and it's only four of them, and you basically just play the story plot, right? That was basically it. Let me see. Let me look at my bookshelf here, full of games with four people in it. Let me think. I guess Yakuza Dead Souls is just four guys. But those are four separate stories, I think.
Yeah, but that's not really
Then you have what was that one game? Resident Evil Revelations 2. You got Claire and Barry's daughter, but it's not four players, but it has four characters. Like it's like they max out at four. They always do. Binary Domain had how many characters in it? Was it like six or four?
that one I can't recall.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see if I can find some more. I'm looking at my shelf and I'm looking at all the slop that I have on my shelf. What else? Kane and Lynch has two characters, but there's other characters that no one cares about because they die. Um, Let me think. What's a four-player co-op game? I mean, I feel like every game was four-player co-op after Left 4 Dead. What's that? What's that?
Um,
What's that? That game that was based off the zombie movie. World War Z has four players. It's you can only play as four people. Oh, it's mostly zombie games now. I'm thinking about.
is something like Fortnite? is that? Well, no, that's got to be
Fortnite
more
when
than
it
four.
well Fortnite when it first came out was a four-player co-op base building game. So yeah, Fortnite was one. Let's see. I'm trying to look at my shelf and see what else I have here based off of like um what do you call it on my Xbox 360. Lost Planet 2 was four-player co-op. Like it caps out at four players, like it always does. And I don't
Okay.
know why it was like that. Like Left 4 Dead popularized that, like four-player co-op. You have four players. Like it's like they never wanted to expand on that and make it more. Some games did, like Mag, but that was like Battlefield really, so you can't count that.
You know
But
what? You have convinced me. I mean, you're making good. Like I'm searching for it here, and I can't find one. Like, I can't think of another that came before. Like I would have said Counter Strike, but I think you're right. That had more than four players.
yeah, it was
So
yeah, Counter Strike is the 8 on 8 or whatever it is, 6 on 6, whatever. And then what's the other one that you said?
Team
There's
Fortress.
Team Fortress. Team Fortress is basically a class base. What is it? 6v6, I think. So, but
That's been.
yeah, it
I
was
haven't played it since 2000,
same,
mid 2000s.
same. I haven't
But
played it since then either. Me
but I
neither.
will I will give that one to you. I like to consider myself a person
Haha,
who can be persuaded by a good argument.
haha.
And yeah, I'll go with Left 4 Dead.
Left for Dead.
The next pairing is weird though because it's
Okay.
Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag
Uh oh.
versus Super Castlevania 4.
I'm okay. I never played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but I have seen it played, and it does look really, really good. However, I stopped playing Assassin's Creed games after Brotherhood, so I'm gonna think about how much I like that game compared
Huh.
to Super Castlevania 4. Um, and I like Super Castlevania 4, and I'm trying to think of which one kind of I guess revolutionized things. I would pick Super Castlevania 4, but I would say based off of the cultural progression of video games, I would go with Black Flag.
Really?
I will definitely pick Castlevania. But how would you like me to pick this? You want me to pick this based off of how I love it? Because I'm picking Castlevania.
So I mean obviously it's easy to hate on Ubisoft
It is. It's very
and the
easy.
Assassin's Creed series. I don't really like the Assassin's Creed series, quite frankly, but
Some
this
of
was
them are
the
good.
only game. This was the only game I liked, and I really liked Black Flag. Like it
Okay.
was one of those games that, um, to me, gave you a true sense of freedom. Like
Mm.
especially in the ship, sort of like the piracy part,
Right.
where you would see like the huge Spanish warship in the distance and the huge English warship, and you could try to take them over even if you hadn't progressed like far enough in the game. And in some cases, like if you played the game well enough, like I remember doing things and taking over ships that I thought I probably couldn't do. And just by using like the stealth and climbing the masts and all of that, and I felt like it was like a special mechanic. Like I wasn't maybe even supposed to do that at that point in the game, but the game kind of allowed me to experiment with different approaches. And yeah, sometimes I die, and sometimes I take the ship. So I enjoyed that more than personally than Super Castlevania 4. I do think that Super Castlevania 4, like when I played it, did feel like very polished, like it was a really, really solid version of Castlevania, even though I would have gone with like Rondo of Blood or something like that on the PC Engine as being like really, really impressive for its time. This is a tough one. You know what? Since you went with Black Flag and I enjoy Black Flag more than I enjoyed Super Castlevania, like if I really, just in my personal history,
Hmm.
I would lean. I'm just gonna give it to Black Flag. Like it's a
Yeah.
little hypocritical because I am making the
Yeah.
argument for cultural significance, and I think Super Castlevania 4, is a culturally significant game, but I don't think it's the best example of that. Like I think it's Rondo of Blood
No.
and it's Symphony of the Night, right? Those are the
I
two
would
classics.
say, yeah, I would say Symphony of the Night for sure. Rondo, I wouldn't say Rondo. And there's a reason why I wouldn't say Rondo. The only reason why I wouldn't call Rondo kind of culturally significant is because we never actually got a chance to play that game till years later.
Yes.
Um Now if you wanted to if you really wanted to compare, you would have to say Dracula X, right?
Yeah.
Um and we don't want to use that. we
Yeah, I
don't. We
mean,
don't want to use that.
although I think over time, right, would be with emulation and with the different ways to play, like I think
Oh, for sure.
most gamers would say, "Oh yeah, those are the two." Like I know a lot of people like the
Yeah, for
original
sure. For
NES.
sure. I would definitely agree with you. It'll be Symphony of the Night and Rondo for sure.
So for that reason, I'm going to give
We'll give it to
Black
Black Flag.
Flag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um but your point is true. Like if this list randomized differently, like
Oh yeah.
it would be a different story. The next one's interesting too because it's Wario Land 4 and Soul Calibur 4.
Wait, is Soul Calibur 4 the one that you got to create your own characters? I think that's the one, right?
Hmm.
Um,
I
and is
think
that the
so.
one?
And it
It
had
also
like
had
the Star
Spawn on it,
Wars.
right? Or is that Star Wars?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had different.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, Wario. I would have to go Wario.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think by Wario Land 4 I was kind of like a little tired. Like I don't want to say tired of the series, but I felt like I had enjoyed all the other ones and this was somewhat like more of the same. Like I wasn't as into it. I know it did some things differently, right? It had like some timed levels where you're trying to escape something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Wario. Like, I think it's probably the better game.
Yeah. Compared to Soul Calibur, yeah, I go with
Yeah.
Wario.
Another interesting pairing: Fallout 4 versus Persona 4 Arena.
Damn it. Man. Man. I like both of those games. Hmm. And I played them both extensively. But in terms of fun and exploration, I gotta go with Fallout. I really enjoyed exploring Fallout's world. But I love to play Persona 4 Ultimax or Persona 4 Arena. Um, that's a very good fighting game, but I give it to Fallout. What about
Yeah,
you?
I'm gonna go with that. Like I like Persona 4 Arena. I think I told the story on my channel. Like Persona 4 Arena came out when I was uh, about to break up with a girlfriend, and I just like when I play that game, it takes me back to that time.
Oh, that
Uh,
sucks.
yeah, I mean, I didn't wind up breaking up with her then, but like I just remember this like weekend where I was so depressed. And you know how it is when you're young. It's like, oh, life will never be the same, but I must play Persona 4 Arena.
I know.
It shows you, the mind of a gamer. But yeah, Fallout 4, way more exploration. I felt like it really refined. I mean, if I have to be honest, I probably had a better time with Fallout 3 because it was so new and different. And Fallout 4 was great, but you never capture that same feeling you had when you first. That was my first foray into the Fallout series. But just as far as it's like a better game, with more to do, it would be Fallout 4.
Yeah.
The next one is almost kind of unfair to do this, but Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past Four Swords Edition
Mm.
versus Final Fantasy 4.
This is kind of easy for me. I would definitely
Okay.
pick Final Fantasy 4 over the Zelda game. It's not because of the Zelda game being bad, but in order to maximize the fun factor of Zelda Four Swords, you need three other people.
Yeah.
So I would definitely go with yeah.
I'm going to go with you on that. Although I'm going to be honest, I don't recall much about Final Fantasy IV. I know I rented it back in the day, and I remember saying, "Oh yeah, I enjoy it. I like RPGs." But Final Fantasy, what was the one that was like six? You know, the was it three here and six in Japan, or what was the
That was
Final
5.
Fantasy six?
So 5 was 2 and 6 was 3. So
Okay,
4 we didn't get till way later on like the virtual console of the Wii. That's the
okay,
one that has the moon, like the moon segment all the way at the end of the game, or is like the post game. That one's good too. Final Fantasy 4. It's not bad. It's just really it drags on towards the end. That's about
okay.
it.
All
But
right,
yeah,
I'll
I would go FF4.
okay. Far Cry 4 versus Tekken 4.
Far Cry immediately.
Really?
Sorry. Yeah, I would go Far Cry 4. Tekken 4 was fine. It's not bad, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of either one of these games.
Same
But
here.
I would pick Far Cry 4 only because Far Cry 4 has a plot. Well, Tekken has a plot. But I remember Far Cry 4 more than Tekken 4. I'll
Yeah,
give it that.
I would personally like if I had to play, one of these two games for the rest of my life, I'd go with Tekken 4 because I just don't like the Far Cry series. Um,
It can get stale very fast.
yeah, but
Um,
I will admit that probably there's more to do. There's more gameplay to be had, and Tekken 4 is not the best version of Tekken, and maybe some people would say Far Cry 4 is one of the better Far Cry games.
I will be honest with you. Me personally, I prefer Far Cry 2 over all of the other Far Cries. That was the more harder that was the more harder game. It was more based on survival and I guess weapon management because I remember that one you have to clean your weapons otherwise when you get into firefights they would jam on you. Um the fire mechanic was really good in that game and there's a system in the game that where you have malaria, so you kind of have to keep it contained in your body while you're fighting. It has
Huh.
all this stuff in it. It has all these cool things that none of the other Far Cries do. And I much prefer Far Cry 2 over than Far Cry 4. Far Cry 4 I just beat because I had it. That was about it. But yeah, I would pick Far Cry 4 only because I don't like Tekken. I don't really
Okay.
care for Tekken 4. So I guess this one's kind of like a stalemate. We don't know because we both hate these
Yeah.
games.
I'll go with you on that. Mega Man 4 versus Mega Man X4.
X4.
Yes, I would
X4.
agree.
Immediately. X4. That's the PlayStation one, right?
Yes.
Yep. X4. Immediately. That one's great. I don't care how many people say it sucks. I love that game.
Really? I always thought it was very, very good. I didn't realize
A
that
lot of
people
pe-
thought.
a lot of people don't like X4. They don't. They don't like X4. I don't know why, but I like X4.
That is, yeah, I would have. To me, it was pretty clear on that one. Then we have Mega Man Zero 4 versus Tropico 4.
0, only because I don't like Tropico.
Really?
Do you like Tropico? Have you ever played Tropico?
I do. Now, they all are kind of blending together
Tropico is
for
that
me.
isn't it Tropico is that game where you kind of it's like Civilization almost,
Yes,
but
and I like those games, but I can't recall the distinction between 4 or 5, and I think there's even a 6.
probably I
Uh, I
don't
f
know.
I feel
Uh,
like Tropico 4, was well, no, there was a 3. I don't know. I don't know which one I played first. I do like I do like the game because it's like, Civ with some humor.
yeah, yeah.
And there's a lot of different elements to it. Like, are you going to cozy up to the US or the Soviet Union? And then you would have like the tourists who would show up if you built the tourist infrastructure and just their like comments like in their native language, like if you could understand. So like German
Right.
or French or Italian, what they would say about the island, I thought was pretty funny. I wasn't a
Whenever
huge fan of the Mega Man Zero series, but probably Zero 4 is the way to go.
I only liked Zero for its speed. It basically felt like a speed run game. But I when it comes to Tropical, whenever I think about Tropical, the only thing I really want to do is it just makes me want to play StarCraft more. So I just couldn't get into Tropical.
All right, no, that's fair enough. Metal Slug 4 versus Yakuza 4.
Yakuza.
Yes.
I
I
love
mean,
I love Metal Slug for uh, no, I take that back. I liked Metal Slug 1 and 2, X, but 4, man, I don't know. There's something about 4 that I don't like. So I'll go Yakuza.
yeah. I love the Metal Slug series. I think Metal Slug 4 was a little bit later, right? That was
Yeah,
like
that was
early 2000s.
yeah, and it's not that it's bad. It's just more of the same with Metal Slug 4, and it's just
Yeah.
yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
Like I was more impressed with the earlier entries in that series just because,
Yeah.
it's,
They
oh,
were
Neo
fresh.
Geo,
Yep.
yeah.
They're fresh.
Where
Metal
and
Slug
whereas
1,
yeah,
2, and X were great, but 4, no.
yeah,
3, no.
whereas Yakuza 4, I mean, might still be my favorite version of that game. Um it was just I'd have to think about that, but I had a blast with Yakuza 4. I love the 4 different storylines. Um, I told I'm kind of weird like this. I still have my save, like, right before the final boss fight for Yakuza 4, so I've never actually beaten it.
Hilarious.
But I did do, like, everything else you could do in the game.
Nice.
Like, I tried to best every mini game. I did every side story. I did everything that could possibly be done except for the final boss fight. And I was like, you know what? I don't want this game to end. So I'm just going to pause it for now and come back to it. I never came back to it.
And never come back to it, yeah.
Yeah, like
Uh,
I'm like that. I don't want those experiences to be over.
I think I did that for Final Fantasy 8. Got to the
Yeah.
to the last gate after you beat all the bosses in Ultimicia's castle and just go, too far. And then just turn it off. Never saw the ending of that game.
Wow.
So yeah.
The next one is it's an interesting pairing. Breath of Fire 4 with Ratchet and Clank 4 All for One, which, if I
Mm.
recall, was the
Breath of Fire
2000.
Breath of Fire
Oh,
4
this
is
was
good, but Ratchet and Clank All for One is pretty good too.
yeah. I think
Um
they're both very very. They're both good. They're not the best iterations, probably.
Trying to think. This one's tough. Breath of Fire 4. That's the PS1 run, right? Or is that's
Uh,
PS1? Breath of Fire 4 is PS1, right? Am I right? Or is that Breath of Fire 3?
I
Because I want
have
to
to
make sure
see.
I'm thinking.
No, yeah, PS1, PS1.
Yeah. That one's a good one. Damn. This one's tough. I'm gonna let you pick the first one this time because this one's tough.
Well, I will admit I've spent very little time with either. I feel like Breath of Fire was more of a thing for me on the SNES, and then I just, my interest waned in it. Ratchet and Clank, I got into actually more with the re-releases, as for the PS4 and then the PS5, like the new one they came out with on the PS5. Um,
I'll
so
go
I would
Ratchet and
probably
Clank.
really okay.
I would go Ratchet and Clank only because I've actually played um what was the last three? And then I never played All for One, but I have seen gameplay on it. But I would go with that one than Breath of Fire 4.
Yeah, I'll take your word for that. Like I said, I don't have a
Yeah.
strong feeling about either. I do have a strong feeling about the next one, Virtua Tennis 4 versus Suikoden 4.
Oh wait, no, this is actually pretty easy. I would go
Okay.
virtual tennis on this one. I
Yeah,
hated
that
Suikoden
was
4.
yeah.
Yeah, Suikoden 4 sucked. Suikoden 4 was
Yeah.
not good. It was not a good game. Yeah, I'd go virtual tennis. That was easy.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, I love Virtua Tennis. I thought 4
Yeah.
was the best
Hmm.
iteration of Virtua Tennis, whereas Suikoden 4 is not the best iteration of
No,
that series.
but it
So,
got better with 5. Man, did
okay.
that game
I
get
haven't played
really good
5.
with 5. You can't because it's too expensive. I think Suikoden 5 is like what, a $300 game now? What is that?
Yes.
Is it? Oh, I'm right. Oh, I was taking an
No, no, no,
educated guess.
no, 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 I don't know that for a fact,
Oh,
but,
okay.
I'll look it
That's
up. I was like, "Oh,
I'm
I'll
looking it
trust
up
you on
right
that."
now. I'm looking it up right now. Because I remember Suikoden 5 was so good. Suikoden 3 is so good. And then 4 happened. I was like, ugh, this is horrible. What is this? Let's see. Suikoden. Or Suikoden, as some people would call it.
Yes.
Suikoden 4. Look at this. Even the internet doesn't like this game. This game is $13. Uh, all right, Suikoden 5. Suikoden 5. Wow, Suikoden 2 is still $200? Let's see. Oh, Suikoden Tactics. I forgot about that one. Oh, Suikoden 5 is not that bad. Oh, yes, it is. Never mind. That was the British version. It's $100. It's
That's
$100.
not
That's not
terrible.
that bad. That's not that bad, but it's
Uh,
$100.
yeah,
That's crazy.
500, I was gonna be like, "Wow."
I remember when
Uh,
Suikoden 2 was that much. So anyway, yep.
alright, so now we have, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 episode, I guess, like, the first episode that they
Oh
did,
yeah,
I know
yeah,
there
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. Episode 1.
and versus, Just Cause 4.
That's a good game too, but I would go Sonic 4. I enjoyed Sonic 4. I thought it was okay.
Yes, I know a lot of people didn't like those, they were, like, PlayStation 3, reimaginings of 2D
Hmm.
Sonic. I didn't think they were that bad, I think Just Cause 4 is a
It's fine.
it's a fun yeah, I mean, it's a good version of that series. I kinda like 3 a little bit better, and if I recall, Just Cause 4 had at least at one point, like, a memory leak issue, and it would crash
Oh, I didn't know
at
that.
launch. So, that was my experience with it, like, I'd get to a certain point, and then it would crash. So, I will agree and go with Sonic 4.
Sweet.
Um, Mario Party 4 versus Halo 4.
Mm. I don't like either
What do you
one of
think?
these games. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would probably
Yeah,
pick Mario Party 4.
really?
Ah,
Yeah,
did I play Halo 4? I played Halo 3 and that was it. And Halo 2, but yeah, I would probably pick Mario Party.
I'm gonna be honest, I've never played a Mario Party game, so, although I know this was highly rated, and I
Yeah,
feel like based on what I looked at online, it deserved to be on the list. Um, yeah, man, I don't know. I'll go with you. I'll go with you.
all right, all right.
I think I would enjoy, like, if I had to play one or the other, I'd probably have more fun with Halo 4 probably because I don't like party games and I don't have the friends to play party games with. But yeah, that's just a personal prejudice.
Right.
Um, man, did we the last pairing here? Last pairing will be Diablo 4 versus Phantasy Star 4.
It's a Fantasy Star
Yep,
immediately.
yep.
Fantasy Star. You
And there's
cannot
probably
get
going
me
to
to
be
say that Diablo 4 is a good game.
you
There
know
no.
there's probably going to be some people who kind of disagree with that, but
That's fine. Fantasy Star 4 is way more fun to me.
all right.
I
So
can't
now
I no.
we've chopped down the list and now we're kind of in the lightning round. We selected Uncharted 4 and Persona 4. Which would you take there?
Persona 4.
Yep, I would as well. That is an easy one.
Yep.
Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution versus Call of Duty 4 Modern
Call of
Warfare.
Duty. Call of Duty. I'm
Ooh,
still picking Call of Duty.
ooh. Tough one because I really love Virtua Fighter 4. Really love it. if I had to play one of these two games, I can only play one of these two games for the rest of my life, I would pick
Do Virtual
Virtual
Fighter?
Fighter. I would.
I'm picking Call of Duty.
But again, I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna say like what would give the player more fun and what was more significant. I think probably you're right. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 4. So I will go with that. But I can't believe a Call of Duty game made it this far.
I can't believe it either, but Modern Warfare 1 is good.
Well, Elder Scrolls versus Left 4 Dead.
Elder Scrolls.
Yes,
That was easy.
easy one.
That was
Easy
an easy
one.
one.
We will go with Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag versus Wario Land 4.
Assassin's Creed.
Yep, I would agree with that. That's of those
Yep.
two games, that's the one that
Yeah.
I would want to play.
Yep.
All right. Fallout 4 versus Final Fantasy 4.
Hmm. Fallout.
Yeah, and again,
Yeah.
that's more on
I
the
would go
fact that
Fallout.
if I had to play a Final Fantasy game, I wouldn't necessarily
Yeah.
reach for 4.
Or yeah, me neither. No.
Yeah, and if, so if I had a choice between the two, I mean, I would have to go with Fallout 4. So think about this. We're not just like retro gamers or import gamers. Fallout 4, Assassin's Creed 4, and Call of Duty 4 Modern
Mhm.
Warfare have made it this far.
Yep.
Far Cry 4 versus Mega Man X4.
Mega Man.
Yes.
Mega Man. Yep.
Yep. Definitely with you on that. Mega Man 04 versus Yakuza 4.
Hmm. Mm, Damn, it really
I'm
depends on how
surp-
you're
I- I'm
feeling.
surp-
For me,
I'm su-
it really depends on how I'm feeling.
I'm surprised.
Uh
To me, it's Yakuza 4 all the way. I mean,
I know
Yakuza
it's for
4.
I know for you it's Yakuza. I'm trying to think. And
There's
you know what? I'm
no.
I'm thinking, and I would probably have to agree with you. Because I'm thinking about Yakuza 4, and the first thing that pops into my head is that Fist of the North Star Yakuza game. And I'm like, yeah, I would probably enjoy that more too. So I'm picking Yakuza.
All right.
You got me there.
You
You
ma-
got me with
you
that
made
one.
you made, you made the right choice. Made the right choice. Ratchet and Clank 4 versus Virtua Tennis 4.
Virtual tennis.
Yep.
Virtual
I'm
tennis.
100% on board.
Yep.
100% on board with that. And then we have Mario Party. Where were we? Oh, Sonic 4 versus Mario Party 4.
Sonic 4.
Okay.
Are we on the same boat? Are we on the
We're
same
on the
boat
same
there?
boat.
All
Yep.
right.
And then I probably skipped one here because I have one pairing left. Oh, sorry. One pairing left. What did I miss? Well, we're just going to do this. A newcomer comes in. I think I deleted something and I can't recall or I skipped over something, but we have Fantasy Star. That kind of led the way, and we need another game. So Thunder Force 4 versus Fantasy Star 4.
Ooh, Thunder Force. Thunder Force
Really?
4. Yes. Absolutely. That's the
Over
shmup,
fan?
right?
Yes.
Yes. Thunder Force 4. Over Fantasy Star? Yes. A million times. That's the one with the strobing background and you can go under the water and that level. Yes. Thunder Force 4.
I'm
That
going to
game
have
is
to.
have you seen that game in action before?
I feel like I have,
Okay,
and
I
I'm
need you to
going.
one day go on YouTube and look up Thunder Force 4. The very first, well, you get to select your levels, but there's a level where you're flying through the air and you're going through mountains, but you can fly your ship high into the sky where the clouds are and then go all the way back down to where there's like water. And it almost feels like you can go as high as you want. The game
Oh
just
yeah, yeah. I'm watching it now.
it's
Yes,
oh
yes.
my god. Yeah, Thunder Force 4.
probably
immediately.
why I added it to the list. So it had a buy. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? Can't click so fast. So we're going to delete this. And we're going to go Thunder Force 4. All right. So now we have to decide between Persona 4 Golden and Call of Duty 4.
That's easy. Call of Duty. No, I'm joking. I'll probably pick Persona. I'll probably pick Persona here.
Yes,
Most
I
likely,
will
yeah.
pick.
Persona
Yeah.
over. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not gonna lie. Call of Duty, you lasted longer than I thought you would.
Yes. Then what do we have here? We've got Oblivion versus Black Flag.
Oh, I still have to go Oblivion here.
Absolutely. Yeah. I
Still
mean,
gotta go Oblivion here. Is Oblivion gonna win
then
this?
I am not sure. Then we
That's it.
have, all right, Fallout 4 versus Mega Man X4.
All out.
Fallout.
What do you think?
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna go Fallout.
I gotta go Fallout here.
I'll
Yeah.
go Fallout only. You know, I really like Mega Man X4,
I like Mega
but
Man X4, but it can't beat Fallout to me.
yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
again, they're both kind of iconic games
Yeah.
in the franchise, but yeah, just more to do. Just the scale and the scope of Fallout 4, I would have to go with that. Yakuza 4 versus Virtua Tennis 4.
Yakuza.
Yep. No argument there.
Nope.
And then we've got actually kind of like this is kind of an easy matchup, I think. Sonic 4 versus Thunder Force 4.
Thunder Force.
Yes. By the way, I because I accidentally deleted something, I saw the game that I accidentally deleted from this list, which threw off the numbering. I didn't
Okay.
actually put in Dragon Quest 4
I
Chapters
wouldn't
of the
have picked it.
Chosen.
I wouldn't have picked it anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree.
I
All
don't.
right.
I feel like Dragon Quest didn't really get good till 7,
Yeah, I would agree with that.
or was it 8? It was one of those. It's one of those 8 or 7.
Well,
Yeah,
8, I mean, some people don't like 7 because they feel it's like long and tedious. I enjoyed 8. That's
I think it was
was
8
kind of the
then.
game.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think then it was 8.
And then we had Virtue, then we had I guess we're at Yakuza 4 versus Thunder Force 4.
Oh man, I'm sorry, bro. I gotta go Thunder Force here. I'm
Ah,
sorry, bro.
no, no, I can't.
I gotta go Thunder Force here, man.
No, see,
Yes. I think Thunder
well,
Force is a better game, dude. I'm sorry. I think Thunder Force is so good. Let me think. Hold on. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. All right. Which one
see,
is going to
I
give me
think
less stress? If I were to think which one gives me less stress, it's Yakuza. But what game do I enjoy playing more? It's Thunder Force 4. I love Thunder Force 4, man. I'm trying to
Oh,
think.
wait a minute.
Okay,
Well, hold on. We're yeah, so that's like the next battle that we're doing because we already selected that
okay.
it was
Let
gonna
me.
be. So, yeah, so we'll go in backwards order. So Thunder Force 4, Yakuza 4. Here's a question I would put to you. To
Okay.
me, for a shmup
Hmm.
to win something like this, it would have to be like the greatest example of a shmup. And
Uh,
you might be right that Thunder Force 4 is maybe
I
the
wouldn't say it's
the
the greatest. I
greatest
don't think it's the
Thunder
greatest.
Force game, because now that when you described it, I'm looking at it here, it's like, yeah, yeah, of course, I mean, I put this list together probably a year ago, um, and this iteration of Thunder Force is really, really good, but I don't think we could, like, for all the games with 4 ever, can it be this shmup?
Mm, with 4 in the title, I don't know. Maybe. Really like that game. I do. I do. I really like that game. Yakuza 4 is a good game too. But man, I really like that game. Can we just say no contest here?
No, we gotta.
We gotta pick one. You
we
pick one then. You want Yakuza 4?
I gotta go
What
Yakuza Four.
why Yakuza over Thunder Force? Why?
Well, I think Yakuza Four took the series to the level that it is today. Like it was fun. Like you have four branching stories, four ways to experience the setting, and then after that, like they took it into five, where gosh, you could, now they had, I want to say like five characters. Like it was, if you played, so I mean, and also you have to look at it when it came out, right? So, um, when it came out, you basically had played Yakuza 3 on the PlayStation 3, which was a major upgrade from like the original Yakuzas on the PlayStation 2. I don't know if you played the like original ones.
Mm-mm, no. But I've
Which
seen them though.
Yeah, so they were, very much of their time, like I would say average-ish third person action fighting games with a really good story and setting. And I think Yakuza 3 took it to like it was way more immersive. The combat was better. It wasn't just like a framed camera perspective type fighting, like it was a full 3D world. And Yakuza 4 gave you so much more of that and showed you how the story could branch out even further with all the different mini games and like the different abilities associated with each of the four characters. I think it's set up so much of what the series is now. And when you think about it, like Yakuza was never a household name in the US.
Right.
It was just kind of like a niche game. And I think this was the point where people realized like, oh wow, there is a fan base for this. Yakuza 5 was a digital only. Well, sorry, wasn't going to be even released here. It was uh, a Japanese only game because people they thought, oh well, it's now this is really really like culturally specific. Playing the idol character and the taxi missions like, and it was very very slow paced.
Mhm.
And I think people complained about that, and finally we got the digital version. So I think Yakuza 4 really built the fan base.
I will give it to you only because it has a story over Thunder Force 4. I would give you this one. So we
All
would call
right.
it Yakuza is the winner right here for this round.
Sweet. All right. So now we have the Yakuza, and we are now doing Persona 4 versus Elder Scrolls.
Persona.
Yeah, I got to go with that.
Yep. Persona 4 Golden. I gotta go with that one.
All right.
And Elder Scrolls made it this far. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, so it's so tough actually when I think about it. Persona 4 versus
I
like I
c-
think
I
Elders
I can't wait till we get to the inevitable fight of Persona 4 versus Yakuza 4.
Yakuza.
You have to choose between the two of them. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Ooh.
It's gonna happen. I can see it.
Um just give me your reasoning actually for Persona 4 Golden versus over Elder Scrolls.
Um, so even Oblivion's good, but I would only go Persona 4 mostly because it has like more of this contained plot line between a group of characters you tend to fall in love with. Elder Scrolls doesn't have that. I don't remember any of the characters in that game, but I do remember enjoying the game as a whole. But I know, even though I hate Persona 4, I know every single character in that game. Um, I just think everything about that game was very, very complete in compare. No, I wouldn't say complete. That's the wrong word. It's just that there's characters you love. The world is great. Um, you can create toys out of Persona characters, Persona 4's characters, but you can't create toys out of you can create toys out of Elder Scroll characters, but no one it'll look like every other character from every other, medieval game that came out, So I give it to Persona 4 because of that. It has a lot going for it.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm trying to think of it here. Like, I think they're both incredibly creative games.
They are. They are.
So the question is, how that creativity expresses itself in both. Like, I think Elder Scrolls 4 was, I mean, Oblivion was about scale, right? We talked about all the different regions, all the different
Yeah.
things you could do, and then the story was embedded in this world, and you had to, like, obviously talk to the NPCs. You had to read the books and the scrolls that were left, buried in dungeons and things like that, and you eventually piece together like the history of this place, and of course your role in it. Whereas I think Persona 4 was, creativity of concepts and
Mhm.
really building on what they did in Persona 3 and really mastering that. Um,
You know what it is too?
yeah.
Oblivion feels like a journey that you're on, and Persona feels like a journey that you're watching your favorite TV show characters go on. That's the difference too. Um, you fall in love with those characters, um, and you kind of get attached to the mystery too of Persona 4. With Oblivion, it has those elements, but it always feels like because you're it feels like the journey is yours, you're not watching your favorite characters go on the journey. You're kind of doing the journey. You're on it. And I think that's where the differences kind of split apart. It just depends on what you're looking for, but I just feel like in terms of like overall, like I don't know, I guess what's the word, like the game tells an interesting story. It has lovable characters. It has lovable like rules to its world. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, they milked the hell out of that series. But man, I'm not gonna lie, everything about that is just cool. The soundtrack is cool. Like everything is just really cool.
Yeah, I do think there's the element, like, what I'm as I'm trying to figure this out, I would say that Persona 4, like, to me, it's so close. I think when look back on Persona 4, I think it has an element of joy to it, playing
Yeah,
it. Like, there's just something about the way it's constructed, even beyond, the characters and the setting, that is not there in Oblivion.
but yeah, for sure.
Only because, like, creating Oblivion is so, like, to get all of those systems to work. Like, sometimes well, not sometimes, it's still, even when they did the re-release, it was buggy. Like, you can still, like, it's a I don't want to say it's a sandbox. That would be unfair to it, but to me, it just doesn't have that feeling. Like, we talked about that with Ease Books 1 and 2,
Oh yeah,
right?
I
When we
remember
when we
that.
went
Yeah.
back to that game, like, in the end, it was a just a feeling of joy playing it, and that's to me the differentiating point between these two games.
Oof.
So we're down to it. Persona 4 versus Yakuza 4. So
I'm gonna
whom do
be
we give the
now.
crown?
Now I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm not
Yeah.
picking this because I know it's your pick. I'm picking this because
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the two. I would go with Yakuza here in terms of which one would be better. And the only reason why I'm picking Yakuza is because they both tell good stories. They both have very, very good, rememberable characters. But Yakuza has the freedom. And I think that's the one thing that makes it. come up a step above um Persona. Although Persona, I mean, Persona has like somewhat of a form of freedom. You still have to play within kind of like, I guess, the guidelines of its time and the days, and the game still has like the story it needs to tell. I would only pick Yakuza based off of all the things you can do. Being, doing the whole karaoke thing. Sometime the game doubles as a rhythm game. It does all
Yeah.
these interesting things. So I would only give it to Yakuza because it just comes up just a slight step above Persona 4.
I think that's a reasonable argument, and even though Yakuza is my favorite series, I'm trying to like I think we need to give a reason, like why would it be one over the other. I think you did that. I think the other thing is this is not specific to Yakuza 4, but it certainly started here and expanded. Is I think the Yakuza series celebrates its status as a game in the
Mm,
sense that like all of the different mini games you can play, like they're each fun in their own way. I mean, it takes a storyline that can be serious at times, but it also has that element of video game farce to it. Like even as you're learning the different like advanced fighting techniques with that Komaki guy, like just the idea of like leveling up. Uh, it's not just, I think, not only the freedom, but it's the sense that every little element that you need to do in the game is itself a game.
it's funny as I just thought about this. Maybe this is a bit
Yeah.
far fetched, but it does feel like Yakuza is the perfected version of what Shenmue was supposed to be.
Yes.
You
Oh, I
know?
think that's how I felt all along. Of course, Shenmue was telling, a very kind of, it was like that mystery story, but it had a very, very slow and deliberate pacing.
Right.
Whereas Yakuza kind of took the concept of, hey, let's have a role playing game set in modern Japan, and then
Mhm.
turned it into, a game within a game within a game. So, yeah, I'm always good with crowning a Yakuza game.
Watch it win the next one. Isn't there like 5 or what is there,
Well,
6
there's
Yakuza
Yakuza
games?
5, Yakuza 6. I mean,
Oh
it would
god.
depend on what it's up against,
That's true too.
and
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
what other games are significant there. Because like we're getting into the point like with this series where you're going to get to like 5 and 6, the number of games will dwindle, but they'll
Right.
still be like rehashing.
Mhm.
And then, once we're out really of, 10, then these things will just be like a handful.
Right.
So can another, I mean, we didn't, Yakuza 1, 2, and 3 didn't win. It's really going to be like, I mean, I can tell you right now, if, and I hate to spoil our future episode, but if I could go like Persona 5 versus Yakuza 5, I'm going to give it to Persona.
5, yeah. I'll give it to
I
Persona
mean, as
5.
much as I love Yakuza 5, I mean, Persona 5 was
Brilliant.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
And Yakuza 5 was. So, I mean, the question is, what game can compete against
Persona
Persona
5.
Persona 5?
We'll have to wait until that episode.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. All right. So Yakuza 4, the best game with 4 in the title.
Yep. Until somebody
So
fights us in the comments about
yeah, someone's gonna
that.
well, because I also threw off the numbering by like not mentioning Dragon Quest 4, even if we said it wasn't gonna win.
Dragon Quest
But
4, Raiden 4
yeah,
is
what I'm
another
gonna
one.
have to do next time, now
Street
that we
Fighter 4.
have
Oh, no,
yeah,
we did that
like
one.
the yeah. The magic of AI is I should actually create a bracket.
That'll be good.
Like, and then it would be easier to sort all of this out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't a fan of Dragon Quest 4 anyway, so. All right, my friend, we have done it.
We've made
Crown the
it to the
best
end,
game with
y'all.
yeah. So yeah, we will be back in February,
Hmm.
and we will invariably have new games to talk about, new importing. Will February be the month when Shy gets crushed with tariffs, or
Oh
will his
Lord.
experiment pay out, or do we have to wait until March or April or May?
Or
We
February.
will see.
It's most likely probably going to be February, but we'll
Okay,
see.
all right. All right. Sounds good. All right, everyone. Until then.
Good night, everybody.